track is so good. The track just sort of goes all these different places. Turn me up a little bit. Like if I do that, okay. I think I'm louder than the music now. All right, I need to change. Did I? This can stay over here. This is the closest I've gotten, I think, to that sort of Vangelis type of playing. So this is what I'm working on here, 15. And we are going to get rid of for streaming, technically. The question is, do I have the extra? I do have the extra audio track. Audio channel there. You can't just delete those. So we'll do like this. Okay, we're back in Bakara's ship, though. And in Bakara's ship,
hearing the vibration of the sun. It almost has
no, I'm going to get rid of it. I can grab it from...
It's just enough where I can almost feel
15,
the
14.
sound on my skin or on my clothes.
All this. I can grab this. Grab this. There's a lot in 15 that's insane. Hey. Let's stop the music. Okay. Chat. The notes today are very clear. This is an exciting track. Because if I'm not mistaken, if I am not mistaken, what it is it's if I am not mistaken, it is this track here. So this is the part of the story where they approach the Jujar, and so we find ourselves back on Bakar's cockpit, back in Bakar's ship. So we have the background cockpit sounds, and then they blast off into space. So I have to do the blasting off it, and then clicks and beeps as she puts it into autopilot. And then there's more clicking, and it goes back down into rift space, and reversion chime, and then reversion. And then it re-enters rift space. I'm not sure why the ship goes... Oh, it goes into rift space, and then... Then a flight harness being disconnected. So something happens. And then he sees the nebula with the Lomus. And then it ends. And there's a rumbling of dark matter. Then it rumbles and suddenly ends. Reaches out to the void, and then the Lomus is used, and he sees creatures. These creatures, they're like ships, and the creatures speak. It's not a long chapter, but we use the rift space and alarm sounds. This is chapter 13. Just duplicated. So I want to be careful of using... I want to make sure that we keep everything that was in 14 for continued use. I don't need those. I know I don't need those. These were all from the... okay, stop it. Okay, these are all from the when he was in the pod. So I know I can get rid of pod sounds. And these are all pod sounds. I don't know what the closed door sound is and opening the door. I don't know where those were from. Probably earlier. So I'm not seeing it, so we're not going to think about it. Yeah, we're going to keep... This I don't need to keep. I don't see... Well, there is the clicking here. Okay, let's leave those there just because we don't know, right? We don't know. We don't know yet. Let's leave those here. Freight elevator, I'm almost positive. Freight elevator is relevant. Okay, I'm like almost 1,000% positive the freight elevator is not relevant there. Or the PS20. I don't see any PS20 anymore. Oh yeah, see, it's right there. This is right before, this is chapter 12. Get rid of that. I need to make sure I get everything. These are all the sounds I put into 15. I need to clean them up. I don't think I need the chairlift. I don't think I need these. I don't think I need these. I think these are all different shit. sure I'm not deleting anything in line. Okay, good. Have to be very careful. I don't want to get rid of anything that is in 13. Oh. Now we're at the top. We're at the very top. Tippity top. Okay. Then we go to salt bikes. See, there's character sounds, but there's no salt bikes here. So technically, Exalt can probably go. But I'm going to make sure that I've got an audio channel for the assault bikes just in case. I don't need it, but whatever. We're on a new version also of live, so we may have some technical difficulties during the stream. We'll find out. Okay, that worked great. Footsteps. How do I have footsteps there? What footsteps do I have in there? Are these footsteps? What is the footsteps? Oh, those are character sounds. I don't have footsteps, so that's okay. I don't have footsteps here. There's no footsteps here. I can get rid of all the footsteps. Let's track this track, this audio track that I did is crazy. I need a soundtrack to this because I actually wrote it for the beginning of entering into chapter 2, which is crazy to think. But then it ended up being for the Jujar. Okay, so there's all this breathing and screaming and bliggity blaggity bliggity blaggity 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 blaggity. See, and then there's this radio transmission. Comms, chatter, and then we go to there. Okay, so I need an audio track. I need an audio track. I need an audio track, chat. I need an audio track. I need to track the audio. I need the audio track. I need the audio track. Dink-a-dink. See if we can't get this done today. I really want to get 15 done today if I can. I've got a Lomus rumble there. I don't need 12 music. Natural ambience. Open up the natural ambience. Let's add a natural ambience track. Let's get rid of all the others. Okay, so that has now given us a much smaller footprint when it comes to tracks, because again, I'm only at 52 now, I'm at 114. And that's because I've got a bunch of stuff in there. Better though, better. And then in the vocal bus, I can get rid of chapters 1 through 14. I don't know. Yeah, I can get rid of 1 through 14, and then I'll re-add what I need. I think we're fine. Okay. Okay. I think I can save that. Oh, fuck off. Yes, save over mine. I keep the other one. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. So I have backups for all of these. If I fuck it up, I can always go back. But fuck. It's just crazy. That's crazy. Okay. We don't need to have the keyboard open. Am I at 120? Shall we listen to chapter 15? By the way, we know that this one is starting ladder. We know that this mechanical field happens ladder. These are all of the ship doing maneuvers. These are all maneuvers. Pretty sure those are all maneuvers. This is not. This is doing something crazy right there. That's what that's doing. Something crazy. Then you got the bugs and the crickets and the bugs and the crickets and the bugs and the crickets. These are all of the cockpit sounds. It's cockpit stuff. And then I kept all of that for no reason. Well, that's not true. I kept all of that because in chapter 13, they start appearing down here. I said I didn't need the door opening sounds. And I'm pretty positive. They have one right there, which I'll keep. I don't need these. I don't need warehouse. I don't need this all the way up to here. And then I don't know why I've got these in there. They must be from earlier. Oh, yes, they are. They're from earlier, which means I don't really need them. Man, chapter 13 was so long. This is what chapter 13 looks like. And this is only for the section split. Here. Very interesting to see how his chapters go long and short. Fantastic. Now to see what we do, right, chat? We see what we can do now. I want to put my bracket. I want to put my bracket there. Rocket. At the end here at 16. Yeah, like that. That means that I could just turn it, I could render that out if I needed to. Okay. Are we ready to listen? There is a longer pause at 296.07 minutes, 2 hours, minutes, seconds calculator. And the number of minutes, 296.07. 296.07. 86.07. A tenth of a minute. So around 4:56. 4 hours and 56 minutes. It's right in here. We need to add space. A longer pause before we had to make. Let's do that first, shall we? 4:56 we had to make.
I feared that I would never again hear that husky laugh or unique accent, or see that sly smile on her beautiful face. As I pictured her, I felt warmth fill my heart. It ached, but it felt true and alive. We had to make 12 inversions to finally...
There's the break, right there. Right here, we're going to insert some silence. We are going to insert silence. I'm going to put in 2 beats. Let's try that.
It ached, but it felt true and alive. We had to make 12 inversions to finally reach our next major...
Okay, let's turn this, let's fade this out. He's done there. Let's listen again, shall we?
See that sly smile on her beautiful face. As I pictured her, I felt warmth fill my heart. It ached, but it felt true and alive. We had to make 12 inversions to finally reach our next major waypoint. We reverted to real space in the middle of nowhere. It was at the edge of what was called the cauldron, very close to the dragon.
Okay, I think that worked. Try it again.
Or see that sly smile on her beautiful face. As I pictured her, I felt warmth fill my heart. It ached, but it felt true and alive. We had to make 12 inversions to finally reach our next major waypoint.
I like it breaking like that with the quiet too, by the way. I'm kind of shocked that worked. Okay. You've got a break. And it's not a bad break. It's not a bad break. So, first, the car's cockpit background sounds. That is the very beginning. Let's see what happens here.
Chapter 15. I waited until his vessel had returned to the ocean before I called Bakara on my comm. She flew to my position, picked me up, and I buckled myself into the co-pilot seat in silence, still unsure how to proceed. "What happened out there?" she asked.
Okay, so I think I need to make sure that the cockpit sounds do not happen for it at all, which means that the magnetic field cluster doesn't come until there. And this as well fades like so. And then these do the same thing. These are going to fade in too, just like they already are. See, they already have fades. So I can go like that. And I can get rid of these. Now we can try it again. Well, let me put these back there.
Chapter 15. I waited.
Okay, so chapter 15 doesn't start until here. How's about we move all of these to there, champion? I don't think that's too much to ask for, is it? I don't think it's too much to ask for. I don't think it's too much. It's too much to ask for. Just do it right the first time, and you don't have to do it right the second time. If you do it right the first time, you won't have to do it right the second time. So think.
Chapter 15. I waited until his vessel had returned to the ocean before I called Bakara on my comm. She flew to my position, picked me up, and I buckled myself into the co-pilot seat in silence, still unsure how to proceed. "What happened out there?" she asked. "I couldn't snag anything on my comms array." "That was the point," I said. "We spoke by way of our presences." So what's he going to do?" "Let's get out of here, out of this system," I replied. "I'll send word to the others. He wants their help with his counterattack." We blasted off and reached full sublight in moments. I sent out our instructions to my friends with a broad description of my uncle's plans. They would need to take a blood vow if they accepted their missions, so I included a single line of text that simply read, "If you want out, I understand. It is not a betrayal of our vow on Nolandar."
So there's a blast
"Okay,"
off.
Bakara finally said. "What's our part?" "I need to find someone. That is the gist of it," I answered. "But?" "I'm bound by a blood vow," I said. "My uncle wouldn't tell me anything unless he marked me. It was awful. It made Shiva's spell seem weak by comparison. You could just help me buy a ship if you don't want to join." "No," she said firmly. "I'll take the vow. Bind me with it." "I don't even know how dangerous this mission is going to get. He told me almost nothing, but what I do know is bad enough," I stated firmly. "I'm not leaving you, Todasha," she insisted. "I don't care how dangerous you think it is. Besides, you've always worried too much." "You're certain?" She put the ship on autopilot and took my hands in hers. Then, squeezing tightly, she said, "Go on then. Do it." I conjured the spell, burning my vow into her core. She took the pain well, better than I expected. "So," she said, after catching her breath, "what do we do?" "We need to go into the Dragon Nebula," I answered. "Exactly," I said. "There's a star map in the info pad, and somewhere in the nebula we need to find a man who can help my uncle." She raised an eyebrow, turned forward in her seat, and thought for a long moment. Finally, she said, "Hand me the info pad he gave you." I did, and she scrolled through it quickly until she found what she was looking for. After studying the star map, she entered our astrogation coordinates into her ship's AI. As she readied the controls, she laughed loudly, shaking her head. "Buy you a ship," she said mockingly. "The Dragon Nebula. You'd get yourself killed trying to do this on your own. I swear, Todasha, you're really an idiot sometimes." She activated the drives, tore a hole in space, and in an instant, the galaxy flashed away as we plunged into rift space. "And if you gave the others the option to back out when you sent them their instructions," she added lightly, "I can tell you right now they're all saying you can go flooge yourself. I wouldn't be surprised if..."
So something happens here. I don't know what it is.
Conjured the spell, burning my vow into her core. She took the pain well, better than I expected. "So," she said, after catching her breath, "what do we do?" "We need to go into the Dragon Nebula," I answered. Exactly," I said. "There's a star map in the info pad, and somewhere in the nebula we need to find a man who can help my uncle." She raised an eyebrow, turned forward in her...
That's interesting. Okay, so what if I bring over... If I bring over now, if I bring it over now, bring over, bring. Get rid of all this. Get rid of all this, cause it's already here. I don't need it over here. I don't. Okay, yeah, that's okay. Get rid of that over here. Get rid of that over here. Get rid of that over here. I don't need this over here. No, I want it on. I want that on. I need that on. Thank you. Thank you. And then I need that out. I need that automation. Cabin pulses. I need those there. I need those cabin pulses. You get rid of those. You don't know why we've got these clickety clicks all the way over there. We don't have 14. Checking. I do have it at 14. What is this? See, this is all alarms, 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 alarms. See, it's got to sound exactly the same as that. How? Okay, like that. Okay, so I really only need it from here to here. one here. Stop it. Okay, this now needs to move. I'm going to grab it. Where to grab it best? Because I need to be able to see it against 15. There's 15. I need to be able to see this. Shit. No, let's do like this. Okay. So something like that. Let's see what we get here.
Chapter 15. I waited until his vessel had returned to the ocean before I called Bakara on my comm. She flew to my position.
What was this?
Chapter 15. I waited until his vessel had returned to the ocean before I called Bakara on my comm.
Showed up.
She flew to my position, picked me up, and I buckled myself into the co-pilot seat in silence, still unsure how to proceed. "What happened out there?" she asked. "I couldn't snag anything on my comms array." "That was the point," I said. "We spoke by way of our presences." So what's he going to do?" "Let's get out of here, out of this system," I replied. "I'll send word to the others. He wants their help with his counterattack." We blasted off and reached full sublight in moments. I sent out our instructions to my friends with a broad description of...
I need to put in something there that loops that I can use to move it. And then get rid of it. This is all Bakara's ship. Just for the sake of everything, but whatever. Don't over-engineer this there, Chase. Let's just do this. Just that. Alright, Dad. What are these?
to Pell and Temp. "Todasha, I cannot comply. It seems reckless. I have been meditating on my role since last we were together, and your uncle's plan does not fit with what I feel I need to do. It is clear that he has no one around him he can trust to give him good advice, and I will not be wasted by going to bore him. I am sorry, but I must act as I see fit. I know you will not understand, and
Okay. So, these are the ships taken off. This is the ship coming out. This is nothing. This means nothing. Right here. These don't mean a thing. These don't mean a thing. They don't mean a thing. There's nothing going on there. There's nothing going on there. Oh, God. Do I have any silence? Sounds. Samples. For silence. Inverted silence for 1 minute. Okay. We have a minute of silence, which is perfect. This is just what I need right here. And then I should be able to loop that because it's silent. No. this all the way. Oh, why do I have a click here? What is this click sound? Yeah, I don't know what she did there. She did something. I think that was turning the ship comms off, to be honest. There were comms in there. I don't need that. But I do need this to be out far enough. It grabs all the rest of the stuff. That's good. Right there. That's perfect. That's perfect. Okay. Outstanding. This is outstanding. This is outstanding. I'm standing out. Standing alone. This is outstanding. This is outstanding. 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 I've got lots of stuff going on. Yeah, I could have told you that that was it, Mikhail. I knew that. Ugh, emails are flowing for work. Oh, I'm so. Okay. I'm sorry, Chet. I'm sitting here and I'm working on emails when I should be doing that. But So dumb. So dumb. Man. Yeah, when? Maybe. I may be able to do it. Just pretend like I'm not reading emails, but I am reading emails, which is really annoying. Oh. Okay. I need to get to this here.
Chapter 15. I waited until his vessel had returned to the ocean before I called Bakara on my comm. She flew to my position, picked me up, and I buckled myself into the co-pilot seat in silence, still unsure how to proceed. "What happened out there?" she asked. "I couldn't snag anything on my comms array." "That was the point," I said. "We spoke by way of our presences." So what's he going to do?" "Let's get out of here, out of this system," I replied. "I'll send word to the others. He wants their help with his counterattack." We blasted off and reached full sublight in moments. I sent out our instructions to my friends with a broad description of my uncle's plans. They would need to take a blood vow if they accepted their missions, so I included a single line of text that simply read, "If you want out, I understand. It is not a betrayal of our vow on Nolandar." "Okay," Bakara finally said. "What's our part?" "I need to find someone. That is the gist of it," I answered. "But?" "I'm bound by a blood vow," I said. "My uncle wouldn't tell me anything." Chapter 15. I waited until his vessel had returned to the ocean before I called Bakara on my comm. She flew to my position, picked me up, and I buckled myself into the co-pilot seat in silence, still unsure how to proceed. "What happened out there?" she asked. "I couldn't snag anything on my comms array." "That was the point," I said. "We spoke by way of our presences." So what's he going to do?" "Let's get out of here, out of this system," I replied. "I'll send word to the others. He wants their help with his counterattack." We blasted off and reached full sublight in moments. I sent out our instructions to my friends with a broad description of my uncle's plans. They would need to take a blood vow if they accepted their missions, so I included a single line of text that simply read, "If you want out, I understand. It is not a betrayal of our vow on Nolandar." "Okay," Bakara finally said. "What's our part?" "I need to find someone. That is the gist of it," I answered. "But?" "I'm bound by a blood vow," I said. "My uncle wouldn't tell me anything unless he marked me. It was awful. It made Shiva's spell seem weak by comparison. You could just help me buy a ship if you don't want to join." "No," she said firmly. "I'll take the vow. Bind me with it." "I don't even know how dangerous this mission is going to get. He told me almost nothing, but what I do know is bad enough," I stated firmly. "I'm not leaving you, Todasha," she insisted. "I don't care how dangerous you think it is. Besides, You've always worried too much. You're certain? She put the ship on autopilot and took my hands in hers. Then, squeezing tightly, she said, Go on then, do it. I conjured the spell, burning my vow into her core. She took the pain well, better than I expected. So, she said, after catching her breath, what do we do? We need to go into the Dragon Nebula, I answered. Exactly, I said.
Okay, so I need to load here. I need to load chapter 1 through 3. I need to load 1 through 13. Render of 1 through 13. Render. And I need to listen to. Oh shit. We did. Okay, we did. Okay, I need to do 13. 13 is good. We're good at 13.
That you have never seen it for yourself, my dear Todasha, she said tenderly. As you saw me, so I have now seen. While Shiva stood near me, staring. Scorch marks. From the scanner data, it looked like all of my uncle's battleships had been destroyed, but his frigates, it came in the form of Shiva's simple questions. If my life as a Karamarian warrior was indeed empty, then what was I really fighting for? The ways of Karamar had formed her father had been, her burnt doing, rather than mulling over the ambiguity of choices still unmade. I hated the fact that my mind loved introspection so much, but as Shiva had said, that is the way of things. Our flight into Karamarian space took longer than normal. Bakara was flying a surreptitious route through the rift space lanes that led us to Deltar 4, based on a path you have already walked. I waited for my pickup in a coffin-sized transport pod, hovering in space with nothing to do but think. Shiva was supposed to, I knew very well, it was a thing of substance, an emotion that could be turned into a weapon. Perhaps the two were linked somehow. But I did know one actuated by saw-like teeth running the length of its axis, and its hydrogen intake scoop was located in its nose, giving it the look of a predatory fish ready to swallow its prey whole. Desolation sent a series of static pings which reached my sensors in the correct sequence, letting me know that it was indeed Bakara. So I docked my pod into... Right, she said softly. It's time. You ready? I nodded eagerly. Her presence swelled as she linked her will to the ship's biotech, and the new coordinates scrolled across one of the flight screens. The rift space drive whirred to a high-pitched squeal. Desolation lurched forward hard, and we tore a hole in the physical, then plunged into rift space.
Okay, so
my anxiety
that's the rift
melted
space.
away.
That is the rift space sound. Chat. That is the rift space sound. That happens right there. That is the space sound. Everything is just us sitting there doing nothing. Okay. So when that does the first one, this one here.
Wants their help with his counterattack. We blasted off and reached full sublight in moments. I sent out our instructions to my friends with a broad description of my uncle's plans. They would need to take a blood vow if they accepted their missions. So I included a single...
See, that's the hover engine that needs to continue. And then I need to move this. This was a door.
We blasted off and...
See, that's a door. That's not it blasting off at all. That is not blasting off. We have blast off sounds. We do have blast off sounds over here. That's coming out of space. Large rocket, base drop. And there's a large rocket.
You're a fool then, truly, she screamed. No wonder you never rose in rank. You don't command troops by giving them an option for cowardice. Added lightly. I can tell you right now they're all saying you can go flooge yourself.
You can go flooge yourself. And then we've got another rocket take off over here. Takes off, large rocket sound.
we passed the outer gas giants, my sensors picked up their first signs of life, although the readings were nothing like anything I had ever before seen. We were too far from the life forms to get a visual from our optical sensors, so I reached out in the void to try and get a better idea of what was out there. Unfortunately, the void seemed blank, as though unable to touch the life form.
See, that is what we call effective bringing out the. So there's a large sound that happens there at the beginning there, and then it goes into rift space. But this doesn't happen there. I don't know why. I don't know. Go into rift space without it flying over here. It's like, why are we rifting? We take off. Why are we rifting? They blast off into space. I could probably take this, and I know that I need to get rid of these. And I know I need to get rid of these, because I'm not doing any of that jazz. And I can take these out. And I can take this, if I take this out. I think I wanted to do that. Oh, that's the shifter. Yeah, I don't care about that. I don't care about the shifter. And this is the mix. We don't care about that. And we don't care about it here. Yeah, we don't care. We don't care anymore. We don't care anymore. Dink, 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 dink. Dink, 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 dink. What is there? What is in here? There's nothing in there. We're not doing anything. Okay, that's good. Large rocket sounds. We're doing that later. Jet engine startup happens over there. Yeah, that's rift space tearing. And that's the rift space stuff happening there. Those are coordinates that are happening there. Ugh. Feeling. I'm just not feeling like it. Go. Oh, I'm up too early, I think. Up too early. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Ugh. The universe is moving, and I am getting very anxious. Chat, I am getting too anxious. All right, I will be back. I will be back. I will be back. I think I will be back. Oh, be back later.